I just wanna touch you. I just wanna hold you. Oh, babe, I wanna kiss your face, but my lips aren't clean and I don't wanna dirty you.
Welcome to SongTellers, where singers and songwriters share the story behind their songs and perform them live. Today's guest is Sam Cormier, who debuted in 2022 with his single American Denim, and in 2024 released his single Dirtyu under State Fair Records. This singer, songwriter, and producer started singing in church and moved back to Texas to launch his music career after joining a band and performing in open mics in Washington, D.C. He has since been named one of Dallas's spotlight artists. This is Sam Cormier.
I missed her, so I'm glad we
Connected. Yeah, for sure. I want to talk about your songwriting process and everything, what kind of got you to where you are today with your music. But I figure we just start with a song right off the bat. You could kind of tell us the story about it, what it means to you, the process behind the writing and the lyrics, and then play it.
Okay.
Yeah, what song do you want to start with?
This is the first song I ever put out. It's American Denim.
American Denim.
I don't really know what it means. I don't think it means anything, but I think the vibe is there. It started just with this chord progression. And then I added this little thing. And then I just added lyrics. There was at Opening Bell Coffee, they were having a songwriters night. And I was like just starting out, and someone was like, we're doing a show about love songs for Valentine's Day. I was like, sure, I'll do it. And I had like no songs written, so I just wrote a love song. And yeah, this is what came out.
That's great.
It's about like, I think I've done one other interview about this song, and I might have like made up a story about it, but the song is kind of like a fantasy almost. It's like a love story that I wish happened, but I maybe wasn't like brave enough at the time to like actually tell that person how I was feeling. So I think that's how a lot of my songs come about, is like it's the life that I wish I had lived. Yeah, but this one is I was inspired by someone I met in California, and I wish I had told them my feelings for them, but instead I wrote the song. So
yeah, a lot of times that feeling of like what could have been, it gives you a stronger emotion that like lets you want to write that song.
Yeah.
So it kind of drives that. All right.
yeah, I could daydream all day long.
All right, well, take it away.
Chance with all the flowers, had nothing but money to burn, and I turn into you. You hate me for it. Pushing 90 in a rental car, the city never felt so far away. Honky the ripples on the overpass, you turn to me, I gotta ask you just one thing. Do you have to look so good with a gleam in your eye like American Denim? What was I supposed to do when you look at me like that? Like you know my whole life and you still wanna hear it. It makes me feel like running away. Ooh. Like running away. Oh. Oh, you make me wanna take a smoking, work out of my lungs. When you stare and I start breathing, you walk through that door. I said, boy, you must be joking. Wearing my favorite band on your cut-off teeth. Do you have to look so good with a gleam in your eye? What was I supposed to do when you look at me like that? Like you know my whole life and you still wanna hear it. It makes me feel like running away. Oh, I feel like running, feel like running, feel like running away. Oh, I feel like running, feel like running, feel like running away. Oh.
I was hearing some cool chord progressions in there. When you're writing, how much of it is like a conscious knowledge of like theory and breakdown? When you're like, okay, I want to switch to this chord, I'm kind of, or is it more about like going by feel and ear? Because a lot of people kind of do a bit of both. What's kind of your approach?
I love that question. This song is definitely both. I think it started out.
Like, are you establishing your key and be like, okay, I want to be in this key for my range?
Well, this is in open D tuning. Okay. So open strum is D major, which I love because like I'm not a guitar player. So
it doesn't sound like it, yeah.
But it's like such a cheat code because it's like if you make a mistake, like you're still
safer on the key.
Yeah. And it's got these like little droney things. So these notes are playing throughout the whole song.
Right.
So it kind of lets me kind of just like meditate and focus more on.
It's got like, the D at the top the whole time. Yeah. So you're hearing that root.
So I can kind of like play around with melody a little bit more. I think the moment where I was like, I'm thinking about theory came like for the bridge, which is my favorite part of the song. Where it's like, you walk through the door wearing my favorite band.
Yeah, that chord
like
right
that
there.
chord right there. I wanted it to be, I don't know, just like really catch you.
Standing outside the key for sure.
Like someone just walks in and you're like, oh my God.
For sure.
What is going on? So that is like the music theory. I think that's an E dominant 7.
Right, which doesn't fit in the key of D major. Yeah, it'd be a minor chord. It'd be E minor in the set.
It'd be this.
Yeah, right.
No, it wouldn't be that.
Yeah,
it'd be that.
Right.
Which is what you hear throughout the rest of the song. So that moment is where I do a little music theory, I guess. Yeah, but I think this song, I remember writing it, like I was just jamming with my friend. We were like camping upstate. And I was just playing this progression. I didn't have like lyrics or anything, but I just remember like it sounded like there was a whole like trumpet section and like strings playing, and it was just us two. So I was like, maybe this means something.
Yeah.
And so yeah.
And do you take melodic ideas from other instruments, like you were just saying the trumpets, to create your vocal melody lines, or is it more?
I think the bum bum banana. Yeah, like the feel like running.
Yeah.
That definitely is something I heard. So it's weird. It's like, I think also with this, you get like little reverberations and stuff. So like, I don't know if I'm just like hallucinating stuff or just like hearing little intricacies and
Right.
and how the strings are resonating. But that's also a source of inspiration.
Yeah, you can hear the overtones in between the notes. Yeah, very cool. All right, well let's do another one. What do you want to do next?
Let's do Dirtyu.
Nice.
This one is.
The song's awesome. This is the one. Yeah, the production too on there on Spotify for it is great. It's got a really cool, just indie rock kind of vibe. I just dig it. Did you do? How much of are you involved in the production process?
So I am an aspiring producer, but I also am. I'm pretty. I don't know. I don't want to be like. I want the song to be the best it can be, and I don't want like. I know that there are other people with greater production talents than me. So, I think that the way that song came about was it started with just the guitar stuff, and it originally was like very slow. I think it was originally like here. And then I work with a producer. His name is. Should I tune and talk? Or
Yeah.
Tune? Okay.
Yeah.
This is like a live performance, I guess.
Yeah.
But I work with a producer. His name's Dan Smith. And so I sent a demo, which was just like, I think a electronic drum. I use a Electron Modal Samples drum machine. So I had like a kick on that. And then just like some claps for the production. And we kind of send the project back and forth. So we record instruments with him, and then we added some live drums, like bongos on it. And then the bridge section, he sent the project back to me, and I recorded a bunch of synths on what's my synth? Microkorg.
Nice.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. It's just like retro stuff.
I've had that back in the day when I was in the band. That Microkorg is awesome too.
It's so cool.
It's so cool. I don't know where mine went.
Yeah.
But I had it in the band that I was in for sure.
So that section was that. So we kind of trade back and forth, and then he will kind of like clean up the stuff that I do, because I don't have as much like sound engineering knowledge.
Right.
But I do like to be as involved in the creative process.
For
I think
sure.
production is nowadays it's part of the art, and you can do so much with it. Like
Yeah.
it's part of the song.
And especially making it a collaborative process too, versus just having someone to bounce ideas off of, whether it's like, hey, we should speed this tempo up a little bit, or, things like that.
So we sped it up. I think it was like 80 BPM, but we sped it up to like 99 beats per minute. And so it's weird because it's like I wrote the song slow, and so like performing it live, I have to like speed it up a little bit.
Yeah,
I'm
you
like,
have to
this is
consciously
so
speed
weird.
it up because you're so
Yeah.
used to hearing it at that older tempo, that slower tempo.
Yeah.
So what's the meaning behind the song?
I was afraid you would ask that.
SongTellers, man. SongTellers.
This song is kind of, I mean, like when I say it's about cheating on someone. Like not really, but this was about like a time where I was seeing someone. It's like the first time I'd really like been in love with someone, and I had no idea what to do about it. And I think at the time, like looking back now, I was like super in love with this guy, and he like wasn't like reciprocating it, you know? I was like, I was just finished performing at like a club. We do like trio sets, just like covers and stuff. So I just finished a performance there, and I was like kind of a little drunk, and I was like, you know what? I'm just gonna like go home with some random person and just like be like, this is what your 20s are supposed to be, right? Like just go and live. And Anyway, I remember getting home that night and like I couldn't go inside my house. I just like laid the seat in my car down and I just like sat there for like an hour. And I just felt like it was like a moment where I was like, I realize now exactly how I feel. And I also see that I've like ruined everything by doing this thing. And it was like, I just want to like be with this person, but I've gone and ruined it and I don't want to like dirty this other person. And so kind of playing around with those
so see, the way I took it from the title
yeah.
is mean like dirty you talking about yourself, but also I don't want to dirty you.
Yeah.
So, yeah. Okay.
Yeah.
Because that.
Yeah. It's like, I am not clean. I grew up Catholic. So like there's a bunch of like, I guess, weird things happening in my brain about like purity and cleanliness. But yeah, it's like, I didn't want to like tarnish what we had. And I guess I'd already done that. So it's like, yeah, it's like a moment where you realize like, oh my God, I'm so in love with this person and I've just like ruined a chance at being with them. So it's kind of quite tragic.
Right.
But we sped it up and we added some drums to it. So, it's
so it doesn't sound quite as tragic.
Yeah. But yeah, that's what this song's about.
All right, take it away.
I lay my sheet all the way back. No, I don't need my neighbors staring in my car. Anyway, all they would see is my right hand upon the seat, tracing where you used to be. Oh, burnt orange of the morning sun fading over you. I just wanna touch you. I just wanna hold you. Oh babe, I wanna kiss your face, but my lips aren't clean and I don't wanna dirty you. I got a short attention span. I'd plug out both these wandering eyes if you can. Promise me that we'll be more than just some drunkard and the whore bored and trying to stick it in. Oh, burnt orange of the morning sun fading over you. I just wanna touch you. I just wanna hold you. Oh babe, I wanna kiss your face, but my lips aren't clean and I don't wanna dirty you. And I never felt so clean as when you put your hands all over me. Now I'm face down in the carpet saying it's not what it seems. I just couldn't take the smoke rising up from my hands, trying to hold on to you. I just wanna touch you. I just wanna hold you. Oh babe, I wanna kiss your face, but my lips aren't clean and I don't don't wanna dirty you.
I want to go back to that the songwriting process. There's again some good chromaticism there. That little chromatic walk down, boom,
Yeah.
boom, and then the don't wanna dirty, right? That minor there. You know, are these conscious ideas, or are you hearing it in this case? I'll talk personally. When I was younger and I played the guitar before I started the piano, and I had no theory background, no knowledge of music. But I was in a creative process. I was always writing stuff. And I wrote a lot of good stuff. Now, granted, it took forever because I was kind of noodling around, but it took forever. But when I go back now and look at it, I was like writing in weird keys outside the box. I was writing in weird time signatures without it really even knowing it. And I feel like a lot of times you can come up with better stuff when you're freed of the idea of I've got to be locked in this key. I've got to be locked in this time signature. So how do you know when to like pick and choose between the two and, turn it on for certain things?
Yeah. I think like chords are about like the mood you want to create, and also the where you want to move, like where you want the song to move. So like I knew I wanted this part to kind of feel like the sunrise, and so like ascending. I think with this song, what I'm starting to try to do more is work by melody. And so this song specifically, I think it centers around like the vocal melody, which is what I wrote first, and everything else is kind of, but like also these are just like little melodies,
Right. Just
simple.
right.
This one too. So just little melodies. I think that's how I'm kind of going into songwriting nowadays. I think before I got maybe caught up in like, oh, the chords have to be cool or interesting. But
Yeah.
I think, like what you said, if you just kind of follow the idea that you have, and when you're in this creative moment, and not get too tied down in like, what's the right thing to do?
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, going back to the first song, because you said you know you'd written the music for the first song, American Denim, and then this one, like you said, it was centered more on the vocal and the lyric. So, and I think writers do it both ways. I think it's just whatever you're inspired by. You're like, oh, that's a cool chord, maybe, and then you just noodle a melody, and boom, something comes up with it, and words just kind of fly out. Yeah. Whereas the other way, you've got the words. I feel like to me that would be the harder one. Is if you've got the words and you're like having to write around it because like you're stuck with the words, and the words are like, this is a good lyric, I don't want to change it. You know what I mean? Whereas like when you've got a good progression, you just start noodling with melodies, and then something good comes out, as a random like mumble word, you know?
Yeah. A lot of songs are starting they start as mumbles. Sometimes they stay mumbles. And I'm like,
I'll just fill that word in later.
Yeah.
You figure out what it means.
Yeah.
Well, cool. Let's do another one.
Awesome. Okay. This one I haven't performed maybe in like a year. This is off my EP it's called I'm Sorry I Went Quiet, I'm Just Feeling Everything. This is like I produced this one all myself.
Nice.
So it is a little like rough, but I showed it to my friend, and they were just like, yeah, just put it out like that. I think it's a vibe.
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah, but it's just about like moving back to your hometown. I moved back to my hometown. I thought I was gonna, I don't know, be like a successful musician by now. And I am. Just it doesn't look how like a 12-year-old imagines
For sure.
success.
Oh yeah.
Or what music is. But yeah, I was just like, I had just moved back home. It was the winter. I was like so depressed. And I just kind of had this feeling like I took a walk around my apartment, and I just like was like, I'm just gonna like sink into the sidewalk, and I'm just gonna like be here forever. And I'm not gonna like go anywhere. And so that's where that came. And it's also just like, I don't know, like going to parties, like you're going out and you're like in bars, and it's just like the world is kind of like screaming around you. And it's just like, I don't know. I just like, that there's a line, "I'm sorry I went quiet. I'm just feeling everything." That's the title of the song. But yeah, it's just exactly how I felt. So.
And this song's called, what's the song called?
It's called "I'm Sorry I Went Quiet." I'm
Okay,
just feeling everything.
So that's in
It's
the
long.
That's in the EP.
Yeah.
Okay, cool. What's the EP called, by the way?
Denim.
Denim. Okay, cool.
Yeah.
All right, take it away.
Love, a flash inside a dark room. Oh God, you move with gorgeous delusion, and I wanna marry you. Bathed in the Pasadena sunrise, and when I tripped I fell into you. Let me stay for a little while. Wait, I'm sinking in the pavement. My body's going all the way down. I'm going all the way down again. Pray, just lie down and take it. I'll tear that body all the way down. I'm going all the way down again. And I'm sorry I went quiet. I'm just feeling everything. And I promise I'm not crying. I'm just feeling everything. I'm sinking in the pavement. My body's going all the way down. I'm going all the way down again. Stay. I love you and I hate it. I'll tear that body all the way down. I'm going all the way down again. And I'm sorry I went quiet. I'm just feeling everything. And I promise I'm not crying. I'm just feeling everything.
How much of your performance feels rehearsed when you play versus like improvisatory. You're like, I'm here in the moment, and so I'm just gonna do what I feel, kind of a thing.
Yeah.
Versus like, versus like, this is how I have it rehearsed. This is how I have it rehearsed. This is how I want to play it, and I feel safe, kind of in this space. Kind
yeah. I feel, every performer is different. I feel like every time I do it, it's different. Which is why I love opportunities to do this, where it's like you get to play them live. Because I love changing things. Like some of like the first song I did, American Denim, like that was my favorite version I think I've ever done of it.
Nice.
Yes. Yeah, it's cool. Yeah, it's just like I don't know, I just get so bored. Like the room is different, like being in this room with like you, and it's just like a very intimate, like no one is here.
Yeah.
It's so much different than like playing to like a room of like 50 or 60 people, which is the biggest crowd I've played for so far.
It's still a good crowd.
But yeah, I think every time is different, and every time I feel something, and I think back to like the people that have inspired the lyrics, and I'm thinking about, I had a conversation with my friend about that last song, about like what do you do like when you're feeling like really sad and like depressed and like you don't know what to do? And she was just like, you just like lie down and you just take it. You just like, it sucks and it's not forever. Like you just have to like suck it up and be like, all right. And I just remembered having that conversation. I think every time you perform a song, it also kind of grows. And so like, I think it changes as you perform it. And like, I wasn't really expecting to play this one today. So I didn't quite rehearse it, but I think if something is honest, it I guess comes through.
So what song did you end up, did you decide you wanted to play next?
I want to do a fun one. This is kind of like a cute little love song I wrote. And it's honestly like any type of love, really. Like, it's called Just So You Know. But it's basically, the idea is just like, wherever you are, wherever you go, I'm always gonna love you, just so you know. And yeah, it might not come out. We'll see. Gonna love you if it ain't me. Brush through your curls, knock on your teeth. If I can love you, well, I guess I'll just leave. Hope that you find what it is that you need. But until then, wherever you are, I'm gonna love you from afar. Wherever you land, wherever you go, I'll always love you, just so you know. Just so you know, just so you know, gonna leave you some space to breathe. Breathing's overrated if you're not with me. But until then, wherever you are, I'm gonna love you from afar. Wherever you land, wherever you go, I'm gonna love you. Just so you know, ooh, just so you know, no, just so you know. Just so you know, just so you know, just so you know.
Did you come up with the whistling part after, or you're like, I'm noodling around, you started whistling, or like, oh, maybe this needs some whistling? What was that conscious?
I think this is probably how it started. And it's so hard because it's like, you don't realize like at the time that you're like working on something. It's just like,
you're just noodling around.
It's just like Sunday at like 11.
Right.
I'm just like drinking coffee. But I think it started as this. So that came first. And then I added lyrics to that. Just so you know, no, just so you know.
So you had the melody from a whistle, and then you kind of incorporated the lyrics into it.
I think that's how that one happened.
That's cool. When you do you because you're in a different tuning. Is this standard tuning?
This is standard. Yeah.
So did you choose to like? Do you deliberately choose to switch between tuning depending on the mood you're in? Be like, okay, I want to switch and just go to standard, or do some open stuff depending on like the kind of vibe you want.
This one, I was like, I want it to be like kind of bossa-y chords. Sure. And then there's like this little like Frank Sinatra, like My Way.
Yeah.
So I was like, I can't really do that if I'm like stuck to like, it all kind of has to be in one key.
Right.
I think open tunings for me are more like nighttime, like meditative, like, they're a little more like, almost like reflective or like magical in a way. It's like I find myself able to just kind of not think about the mechanics of the music and just kind of like really focus on honestly like the therapy of it. Like
this is which tuning is it?
Open tuning.
Open tuning. Yeah, that makes sense.
It's kind of just like, it sounds nice. Like you can actually like feel the vibrations of the strings a little bit more.
No, for sure.
Maybe I'm just
no. A couple things. Earlier you mentioned when you were talking about open tuning, you mentioned the term droning, which is what I use specifically when Alexandra was on here. Her last song that she played was an open D tuning, and she had never really played a song in that tuning, and for her it was kind of like it felt more vulnerable. Yeah. And part of it, totally agreed. You mentioned the word droning, is that those droning those notes at the bottom just are droning the whole time. It really allows to really make more focus on the lyric and the vocal because a lot of the music, the chords are repetitive in that sense at the bottom, at least on the high end. Yeah.
Yeah. Cool. And it's like, it's almost like you see that in a lot of different like religious traditions where there's like a drone going on.
Yeah.
And it's kind of almost like a trance.
Yeah, the pedal tone in Baroque classical music, you've got the tonic just droning the whole time over chords that switch over it. So for sure. Yeah. Bach did it hundreds of years ago.
Yeah, absolutely.
Cool, man. Yeah. Well, thanks so much for coming today. I really appreciate it.
Thank you for
it was awesome. Great stuff. That was awesome.
Thank you so much.
Really fun.